All right. Now, MMA is very multifaceted, and I think a lot of fans get the impression it's mostly about throwing punches and avoiding them. Can you expound upon the importance of some of the other aspects of the sport, like a fighter's balance, and is there training on how to take a hit?
I think the best training on how to take a hit is to train how to not get hit, quite honestly. I've been in this sport for a while, and at first, I was like everyone else. I thought it was you fight, you hit, and whoever gets hit the hardest loses. But I've learned that, you need these, especially on the ground game. You need to have balance. You need to have the ability to move and to be smooth in transition. Transition is one of the hardest things for any MMA athlete to do. Footwork, that's another huge one. Having the ability to create rhythm. I make it a point to get my Xbox Connect out, and we have this dancing game where the whole time you just dance. It creates that fluidity with your body. It's hand-eye coordination. It's hand-foot coordination. It's eye-foot coordination. If you don't have all these little things, you can't pull the Anderson Silva out of you. Meaning you can't fight with your hands down, counter a man at just an off-the-wall angle and drop them. If you don't have all these little things tied in, you'll never do that.
Okay. All right. Now, bridging the gap between that and my next question, with your fighting style and how you've trained and everything, it's led to your current record of is it 9-5?
It's 9-5, yes.
Okay. Now, before this call, you and I spoke a little bit. I was going to initially ask you at what point in your career did you decide to go from amateur to pro, but you had mentioned that you started off as a professional fighter, and you can no longer do that. Can you talk a little bit about that and when that changed and why?
Yeah, sure. I was an amateur boxer, when like I was saying earlier, about 16, 17, I also got into the boxing, and I had fought a few smoker fights, which are just unsanctioned fights, around Youngstown, Akron area. And basically I got asked if I'd like to do some fighting for what used to be the IFBL. Well, I agreed, jumped in, and fought a fight. I wanted to get paid, and he let me turn pro. Anymore, the Ohio Athletic Commission doesn't allow that to happen. Anymore, you have to have, I believe it's at least 5 wins and a winning record to even be considered to turn pro, which I think is a fantastic choice for the state commission to do. You're giving a very pristine title to people. You're giving them the fact that they can be called professional athletes to just anybody. And looking back on it, I wish I would have had an amateur career. Well, unfortunately, I had to learn all my amateur mistakes as a pro, which truly affected the record I have now.
Okay, now you mentioned those amateur mistakes. When looking back on your 5 losses, do you think those mistakes contributed to decisions you made in the octagon, or was it more of a superior opponent? Can you expound on that?
Quite honestly, and this is my personal opinion. Of course, the fighter always has to sound tough, but I truly feel only one of my losses was because I was outmatched, and I fought Luke Zachrich. He was my 3rd professional fight. He's been in the Ultimate Fighter, and he was the only person I truly feel that outskilled me. Everyone else, it was mental mistakes. I said earlier that I had a huge following. I still do have that huge following, and they made it a point to come to all these shows, and I think the nerves just got to me. It was just too much. I just really got too excited. I got overzealous, and I made mental errors that I don't make anymore.
Now, at the beginning of the interview, you had mentioned Royce Gracie, and I've talked to quite a handful of fighters by now, and a lot of them mention him in their initial draw into the sport and everything. Is he a role model of yours, or who is a role model in the sport for you, or a source of inspiration?
Honestly, oh man, that list is huge. It depends on what I'm looking at. Dana White is a huge role model of mine, just because of what he's done for the sport. You look at the Royce Gracies, like I was saying. He's the one that made me want to do this. Royce Gracie introduced me to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Looking at it now, I can safely say, again, I keep saying the same guys. George St. Chandler, Anderson Silva, Randy Couture. These guys, they show such, I don't know, they're almost on a pedestal with their skill level. It's a lot of these guys, these Vegas guys, and these fighters from out of the country, these guys from Brazil, these guys from Canada, they take such pride in doing this martial art that they dedicate their lives to it. And I mean, there's no one that you can idolize more than someone who is a champion at what you try to do yourself.
Okay. Now, what's next for Micah Bender?
What's next for Micah Bender? That's a good one. Honestly, right now I'm excited. I'm just being excited that I'm the Roctagon, MMA welterweight champ. Right now, Roctagon is growing nationally. It's a national growing organization, and I couldn't be more thankful for that. Right now I think the CEO James Jetta and my head coach Jim Bundy, they're graciously kind of just watching over my career. They're helping me make some good choices, getting some good fights in different organizations while Roctagon is maturing. It's still in its infancy right now. It's going to be massive. I can tell. I have the utmost faith in it. But for right now, I think we're kind of just working on getting me the fights to kind of get my name out there, to show that I am the real deal, that I have beat the best in Ohio, and I'm willing to take it to the next step, to the national level.
Okay, and when is your next fight?
My next fight, right now, we're looking towards May. It's not on book yet, or on paper yet, but that's kind of the rumor going around. We're hoping for that. Hopefully a title defense already. I have the title now. It'd be kind of nice to go out there and show people that I'm the true champion. That's what I'm hoping for, is hopefully May. All
right. Any idea who your opponent would be?
No, sir. Actually, we're talking about bringing in some tougher opponents, some bigger names. Just people that they feel can really push me to kind of make myself the best fighter that I can be.
Now, is it safe to say that your ultimate goal is to make a name for yourself in the UFC?
I'm not too sure. Any fighter that does this would like to be in the UFC. That's just facts. I think for me, my ultimate goal is just, again, to see how far I can take myself. The organization's great, but the organization is only as good as the opponents that they hand you. And I mean, if I can fight, a GSP in, I don't know, some place in West Virginia, then I'll do it. I mean, I want to take the fighter. I want to be the guy who goes against the top fighters, not always be like the organization. I want to see how far I can literally push myself as a human being. Okay.
All right. Well, Micah, thank you very much for your time. I wish you the best of luck in your career, and if you have a fight in May, best of luck there as well. And thank you again. It's been great talking to you.
Well, hey, Greg, real fast, man, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Why So Blue for, spending the time to interview me. It was really nice to talk to you guys, man. Remember, God bless you, and God bless America, man.
Oh, you too. Likewise. Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.